One of the many elements of life in the Mohawk Valley that helps make such a great place to live in is our great cultural diversity. I'm Jasmine Allen, and we are in the midst of celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. In this half hour, we will recognize the special ways our Hispanic neighbors contribute to our nation. Let's start by introducing you to our neighbors. One new neighbor comes to you each night on our new national nightly news broadcast, News Nation, live from Chicago. Let's get to know meteorologist Albert Ramon.
We do have some active tornado warnings.
Albert Ramon will tell you he's been training for this practically his entire life.
After 13 inches up in Beeville and an additional 3 today.
This year, he became the chief meteorologist at News Nation. That alone is quite the accomplishment.
It's exciting. It's exciting stuff. It's pretty sweet.
But what makes this even sweeter is that he will be the only Latino chief meteorologist on a national level.
It makes me very proud. And there have been a lot of people that I've looked up to that have been an inspiration to me.
Recently, he made the move to Chicago for the job, and as he tours a windy city, he remembers growing up a fan of Chicago's very own meteorologist, Tom Skilling.
It's amazing how life will sometimes be a full circle where, you know, Mr. Skilling is someone I've looked up to since I was a teenager, thousands of miles away.
Which puts Albert in Beeville, Texas, population of about 13,000. That's southern Texas, near Corpus Christi. His rise to national TV has already made headlines there.
All of my family, with the exception of myself and my brother, still live there. And we can go back and look at our Ancestry.com, and generation after generation after generation are Mexican-American Texans. Even tracing our roots to when that was still the state of Tamaulipas, northern Mexico.
Proud of his culture and his upbringing, he wants his story to inspire others, whether they're interested in weather or other fields.
There was enough snow today here in the northern counties.
And he remembers having a love for weather early on, watching national coverage on the damage the world saw after Hurricane Andrew in 1992. All these years, his parents have witnessed his unwavering dedication.
One Christmas, we got him a weather station.
Station. His room,
Yeah.
his room was a weather station. It still has a tag on his room on the door, Albert's weather room.
Albert's weather station is much bigger these days. He has a national platform keeping track of weather for all 50 states, while also serving as a role model for so many.
Whether it's a conversation like on Zoom or FaceTime or just an email response of here's some resources, here's some links, I'm all about paying it forward. That's kind of where I am in my life right now.
In Chicago, I'm Lourdes Duarte.
Coming up next, we will show you how giving back to the community is as much a part of Hispanic culture as is their ethnic celebrations. We have a few examples of that when we return. Welcome back, residents of the Mohawk Valley, where so many different languages are spoken. In emergency situations, a language barrier can be a great impediment. Public safety officials often go out of their way to accommodate. Here's an example.
For a little over a decade, Al Ludwig has been answering the call for Knoxville Fire. And during that time, he has become the go-to guy when crews find themselves in a communication dilemma when working with Knoxville's Hispanic community.
To have somebody like Al that's able to speak their language and break that barrier there is a tremendous help.
Buenos días, me llamo Alfredo.
The Knoxville native learned Spanish during his days at Fulton High and at UT, a skill that would eventually become crucial in his day-to-day job with KFD.
We go on a scene and the paramedic doesn't know Spanish, so they don't know what's going on necessarily. You can see that someone's in pain, obviously, or something, but you don't know why. So I'm able to come in and say, you know, where does it hurt? What type of pain is it? You know, do you have a history of something maybe we need to know about? Things like that. So it makes it go a lot quicker.
When you're dealing with seconds, sometimes in a health situation or a fire situation, you know, you don't have that opportunity to to stretch things out. You have to get to the point. So having somebody like Al that's able to speak their language and direct them or ask them questions is a great asset.
Another way Al has helped break down the communication barrier is by assisting in the creation of these cards that crews can now use to help diagnose a problem, especially if Al is not on scene.
It was just 5 questions. You know, what's your name? Is anyone trapped or missing? Just real basic information that we would ask to at least get us going in the right direction. About 5 or 6 years ago, we saw a need, especially like on fire scenes or something other like that. And rather than try and teach everyone real basic Spanish and then have them forget it because you don't use it every day and stuff like that, we came up with a flashcard system.
A system that has helped fire crews bridge a gap when seconds count. In Knoxville, Tennessee, I'm Bo Williams.
The help the Hispanic community gives goes even deeper than the area of public safety. It goes directly to one of the most basic human needs, the need to feed the hungry. In Philadelphia, one Hispanic business owner stepped up over the summer of COVID-19 to make sure their neighbors had food to eat.
Feeding people is a blessing.
215. That's the number of meals that are prepared in this kitchen every weekday. And it's all thanks to a rotation of local chefs. And Chef Monty Tillai cooks here every Tuesday.
Today we're doing butter chicken.
The space is called El Compadre. It was originally the home of South Philly Barbacoa, which has since moved across the street. During the coronavirus pandemic, owner Cristina Martinez found a mission for El Compadre, turning it into the People's Kitchen, providing meals for those in need.
From the first day we found out about COVID, we started to give free meals. Every day has been very intense with the usage of different condiments with different flavors of taste that get integrated in the preparing of meals.
As a Mexican immigrant, Martinez wanted to make sure people were getting to taste food from all over the world, which is why uniting chefs with different cultural backgrounds has been very important for this project.
This is the traditional from India, and this is what I wanted to bring it up to the people. And I'm happily serving that for people who would need it.
Different cultural influence is important, and also the fact that every family, no matter what status or position in the world, should have access to amazing local chef-cooked meals. So that's what we're doing every day.
Carly Porzan works with 215 People's Alliance. It's an organization that helps fight racial and economic inequalities. It is teamed up with the People's Kitchen to help distribute the food. The mission is simple: serving the underserved and inspiring others to do the same.
We are here every day with a lot of enthusiasm, energy, and very tired, and yet continue to love and be able to inspire many people who will support other communities that are in need.
After I cook, I walk outside. The people who are eating out there, they all tell me, "Chef, the food is great." So that's all I like to hear. Karma is a good thing, right? So what goes around comes around.
In South Philadelphia, Kelsey Fabian.
Coming up next, keeping one's heritage alive from generation to generation is important no matter what your background. You teach your children the recipes, you teach them your music, and if your family's heritage includes traditional dances native to your world region, then you pass that along. We'll have that story coming up when we return. Hispanic culture has a rich tradition in its music and dance. As many in the Mohawk Valley, no matter what your background, we can recognize the value of keeping alive one's heritage. Whether it's through food, stories, or dance, here's how one man in Florida works to accomplish that.
In this quaint room in Clearwater, Florida, history comes to life. Vibrant outfits and intricate footwork tell the story of Mexican heritage. For 10 years, this group has educated our entire community on the importance of tradition.
It's more than knowing 2 languages.
Personally, I think we have an amazing heritage. When we dance, we pass on that message to others that we're a culture and we have many beautiful things to us.
Pride and passion create the rhythm of Grupo Folclórico Bajetsi.
People that come from Mexico or from another countries here, they're doing the best they can. And I will try to pass to the kids. Whatever they do in their life, they want to put everything.
Mere Pio Quinto lays concrete flooring by day. Once he's done, he's at the dance studio with dozens of young Mexican Americans excited to help preserve the history of folkloric dance. He's carried that responsibility for a decade. It comes with 2 hours of practice twice a week.
I'll be doing like 2 hours, and for me it's like 2 or 3 seconds.
The dedication and discipline of nearly 60 children beautifully showcase the history of 12 of Mexico's 31 states through dance.
Each grade dances a state, and whenever I go to Mexico, I watch those states and say, oh my God, I do those.
Dance lessons become history lessons that allow 2 worlds to collide, and dozens of community performances each month offer these kids valuable life lessons.
He's taught us to have more confidence and to reach your goals.
There are always going to be bumps on the road. You might forget something, you might make a mistake, but you always have to keep smiling and keep going.
A message that rings true for their immigrant parents who only hope for a brighter future for their children.
Be proud of who she is.
COVID-19 has disrupted their rehearsals and their performances around the community, but not their resiliency and their passion to pass on their heritage and culture with all of us. Reporting in Clearwater, Florida, I'm Jennifer Viñate.
Passing along traditions from one generation to another is important to keeping our cultures alive. The COVID-19 virus outbreak caused a roadblock to that, but did not bring it to a halt, as exemplified by one dance school in Philadelphia.
It's a very complete dance. It's very intricate, and it requires a lot of coordination.
The combination of movement and community and the interaction with another person makes it a very special way of coming into the moment.
Tango has taken over the lives of Meredith Klein and Andres Almeida. Klein has been dancing tango non-stop since 1999. Almeida is from Argentina and says he's been dancing since he was 11 years old.
For me, dancing tango, it was very natural. It was something I just did.
They've been dance partners for years, and their love of the music and movement moved them to create the Philadelphia Argentine Tango School more than a decade ago.
When we founded the school in 2008, we became part of this global movement to take Argentine tango from a specific place and time and make it something that the whole world could enjoy.
They said tango has deep roots in Hispanic culture, but has other influences as well.
Like Latin America, which has so many different cultural influences and so many different traditions, tango also is this incredible mix of peoples and cultures and different art forms from around the world.
But like many schools, COVID-19 hit them hard. In a socially distanced world, teaching an intimate dance that involves contact obviously presented some challenges. Now, instead of teaching with a dance partner, they use a stick. It's different, but it has not stopped people from learning.
Forward step, pivot. Forward step, pivot. Meredith said that when COVID-19 hit, they realized that they had to change the way they do business. So they stopped bringing students into their studio and they transitioned their classes online.
She said since then, they've attracted students from all over the world. The school has also started virtual events as well. Back in May, it held a virtual tango festival that drew in more than 400 people.
The fact that people are still engaged online is giving a sign that as soon as people it's safe to dance, people are going to flood the events, and we're going to have a binge on tango.
They said despite the challenges from COVID-19, they don't think anything can ever stop the music.
All these human resources that now exist for carrying tango forward is immeasurable. It's more than at any other moment in time. So I'm confident that all of that equals a revival on the other side of this. We just have no idea when that's going to be, right? None of us does. May it be soon.
In Philadelphia, I'm Kyrie Stewart.
Coming ahead, some of the biggest names in music share in a Hispanic heritage. A few of them, you might not recognize their ethnic connection. We'll introduce you to them when we return. Stay with us. You may have heard their names, but did you know that their backgrounds share an Hispanic heritage? And if you listen closely to their music, you will see that the influence is there. We might not initially recognize it. Here's who we're talking about.
Since the beginning of rock and roll, we've seen deep influences of Latino music.
With this electric guitar, a young Richie Valens wrote his smash hit reinterpretation of a Mexican folk song, La Bamba.
By introducing Spanish lyrics into a rock and roll song, even that in alone in 1958 hadn't been done before. So that was groundbreaking, that was innovative.
His contributions join those of other artists of Hispanic heritage who have their names etched in gold on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee wall.
Vinny Lopez, aka Mad Dog of Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band, everybody from Greg Errico of Sly and the Family Stone, Robert Trujillo of Metallica, and Linda Ronstadt, among others.
En la noche silenciosa.
That last name may come as a surprise to some.
Mariachi, my family are Mexican, and that is my roots.
From her grandfather and previous generations, and recorded an entire album kind of celebrating her roots.
Precious artifacts help tell these inductees' stories, like Trujillo's bass guitar, the satin vest worn by Errico, and
in our brand new Play It Loud special exhibit, we feature the famous Wolf guitar by Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead.
Director of Fan Experience John Gerke says the Dead fostered a powerful communal aspect.
Jerry Garcia always talked about how he tried to break down those barriers between performer and audience. It was more about we are all sharing in this experience together.
One musician that Gerke says certainly has shared his heritage is Carlos Santana.
These collaborations, it's doing what we see in music today. It's introducing his music to the fan bases of these other artists and vice versa.
Pre-pandemic, the museum has participated in events like the annual Latino Heritage Fest, but in today's world, they encourage people to make use of their free online educational resources.
Rock and roll has never been one thing. It's never looked one way, it's never sounded one way. If you have one image of rock and roll, I would encourage you to broaden that representation.
In Cleveland, Alex Stokes, Fox 8 News.
Music is a great equalizer among all people and a great way to share your own heritage. We'll continue with more messages after this. These scripts don't match up with For the past half hour, we have brought you a closer look at the contributions from those who share a Hispanic heritage with all of us from across the country. These stories share a common spirit, even those that originate from different cultural backgrounds, from the young man inspired by a Christmas gift and turned it into a career that brings him into homes across the country. The story of giving back to a community in various fashions, the dedication of keeping our heritage alive by sharing traditions with younger generations. That is something we can all relate to, no matter what our background may be. And finally, some of the great names in rock and roll music who share in music and heritage. We hope you enjoyed this past half hour. We're glad you joined us. I'm Jasmine Allen. Enjoy your weekend.